Hey, it's First Functional Friday. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you probably know I've been struggling to get a Dado stack insert for this table saw for the last week and a half. This is the second one I've gotten, and both of them so far have had fitment issues similar to that. So I'm going to make my own insert. I found this scrap piece of shelving board that was almost the perfect length and width. The grain wasn't going in the right direction, but I figured if I was careful enough, this would be alright. It was about 3/16 of an inch too thick though, so I was going to have to forcibly remove some material. When I cut the curves, I didn't cut right on the line. That way I could use a disc sander to sneak up on it. So like most table saws, this one has these little tabs that stick out that actually keep the insert flush with the top of the table. However, what this Delta table saw has that I guess the other Delta 6000 series don't is this little hump right here, and that actually interferes with the thickness of the insert. I'll have to route out a spot for that little hump to sit in it, and it'll have to be about a 1/16 of an inch from the surface. So I'm going to use the stock throat plate for a template for where that little piece that I need to recess is. It actually fits really well and it sits flush when you have pressure on it, but there's just a little bit of a pop-up on this edge due to this fabric in here that helps keep all the dust going through the dust collection. So I'm gonna actually route a little bit of a groove here to give a little bit more play to that fabric. So I actually just wound up routing a whole bunch of material. It's not pretty, but it's going to be on the bottom side and nobody's going to see it, and it actually works really well. So it sits flush now, so that'll work well. It doesn't want to pop up. So now we need to go ahead and put the Dado stack on and go ahead and put our cut in there. So I'm going to drill a little hole into the end of this board and then insert a screw and then cut the head off. That way there's something to catch underneath the bottom side of the table. Whenever I was trying to cut the head off that screw, this happened. So I've already made another one. This time I made it out of birch plywood because that was another piece of scrap I had. A little denser, more sturdy, doesn't flex as much as these glued together pieces from the shelving board. And it fits really good. Already cut the head off the screw off, but I still need to punch the hole in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So now my Dado stack insert is actually done, kind of. One of the mistakes I made whenever I switched over to this plywood, I wasn't thinking about it, but with plywood you got to be careful of tear out. And so if you look right here, there's a spot where I kind of ripped off some of the top layer of that plywood. I'll wind up painting this, probably a bright orange or something anyway, to stick in here so it'll prevent it from tearing out anymore. But if you try this yourself, you might want to put some tape around it or use a sacrificial piece of wood laid flat on top of this as you cut through that board.